lên cái tàu á, cái xe là tàu. Xe đó. Thế à? Ra đi quá. Cao nhưng mà nó ghê vậy này không có bằng một góc ở Florida tao đi. Florida đi nó còn cao kinh luôn. Giờ đi vô mua vé. Mua vé nó chậm. Cháu đi theo ba mẹ. Đây cảnh thiên nhiên đúng không? Lát vô đi lên tiền chở đi thôi với cảnh thiên nhiên. Có đi Thank you.
Because we're going to the most dangerous part of the day, toward the S-turns. The S-turns get their names in the trail being shaped like the letter S. So as we come to a stop here, first safety requirements, I need you guys to reach under your seats, grab those red safety straps and buckle up. Just kidding. Now just made our way down into Fern. There are said to be about 27 different species of fern that are native to the Wisconsin Dells area. First fern like the yellow fern, the red fern, the blue fern, the green fern, the purple fern, the brown fern, the blind fern, the interrupting fern, the walking fern. There it goes. So now my favorite on to the left here, the invisible fern. You guys see it? Yeah, me neither. Now you guys may notice these sandstone cliffs on both sides of us here. They hold in a lot of moisture, which makes them act as a natural air conditioner. So the shape of the trees and the natural air conditioner, well, it's get about 5 to 6 degrees cooler down here than it does the upper Dells, making you guys some of the coolest people in town. Oh, we're gonna stop and look for traffic. As we go into the Wisconsin River, it does get a little bumpy. So if you feel the need to, please hold on. Your other free hand, you can go ahead and plug your nose. Just like that, we are now able to float the beautiful Wisconsin River. The Wisconsin River is 430 miles long, starts at the Wisconsin-Michigan border, making its way through 27 hydroelectric dams, which one of those dams will be found here in the Wisconsin Dells. These 27 hydroelectric dams have over 200 cities in Wisconsin, making the Wisconsin River one of the hardest working rivers in America. First rock formation on today's tour. If you guys follow this left shoreline all the way down to this mushroom-shaped rock up here, this is known as Pocket Rock. Now back in the 1800s, there was a traveling preacher who would come to use this rock to pulpit. Native Americans would sit in their canoes just below listening to preachers' sermons. Now eventually got bored and ended up falling asleep and float down the river. The preacher did not like this, so he went into town, went to the local saloon, and found the guy playing a baby grand piano. I brought that guy back with him in hopes of keeping everyone awake during the sermons. That's So the guy playing the baby grand piano fell asleep. The preacher went to go wake him up and it startled the guy. The guy thought he was still in the local saloon, so he started jumping up and down, banging on the keys, eventually breaking pulpit right in half, setting half a pulpit rock off to the left there, setting the baby grand piano off to the right, and left the wake of the baby grand piano, setting it on pulpit. The key faced the heavens. Now it was said that the preacher did do some witchcraft on the side and actually put a curse on this baby grand piano. Something I'm out here at 3 a.m. We might just hear quite some hard rock by the way, so.
Vách đá không, nhiều cái cây nó mọc ở trên vách đá không, nó sống được hay thì.
We are approaching our second and most famous rock formation on today's tour. If you guys follow the shoreline here ahead of us, all the way down to our left, you're going to see that very pointy rock that sticks out about 60 feet above water with nothing under it. This is known as Hawksbill. Now it gets its name because if you use your imagination, you'll notice that the upper rock is its upper beak, the middle rock is its tongue, the lower rock is its lower jaw. Now if you extend your imagination even further, you'll notice that the slit in the rock is its eyes, and the rocks right next to it, arch left shoulder and wing as it gets ready to soar across the beautiful Wisconsin River. As I'll see here ahead of us. Now, this is our most famous rock formation here in Wisconsin Dells and was even featured in Life magazine back in 1962. until the lake fully emptied into the river. Now, if you guys are wondering how high the river got that day, if you guys look off to the left, you'll notice where the shoreline meets the tree line way up there. That's how high the river got that day. This next one I'm about to tell you is one that sounds fake, but it actually is true. Now, if you guys were to start at the beginning of the breach back there, all the way down to these houses up on top of the hill there, all this land to the right of us was once the city of Newport. Back in the 1800s, there were a few people that lived here in this city. One day they overheard the conversation that the president of the Lacrosse Milwaukee Railroad, Byron Kilbourne, wanted to build a railroad bridge from shore to shore. So everything the east coast off to our left of these ones off to our right. Now more people found out about this after the news got out. People started moving into the city of Newport, buying land and reselling it for 10 times the price they bought it for, which was a very good profit plan, as they knew that Byron Kilbourne was a very wealthy man. That is until Byron Kilbourne came down to ask for some help and to purchase some land to build that railroad bridge on. That's when these people gave their ridiculous offers. Now, instead of taking their offers, he found a few people of his own. Went about 2 miles upriver and built the Kilbourne Railroad Bridge that is still there till this day. Now, have any guys ever been to Kilbourne? No, I guarantee you have, because in 1931 they switched the name from the city of Kilbourne to the Wisconsin Dells. Now, when people heard that they built a railroad bridge up there, they all left the city of Newport, making it an absolute ghost town. In the late 1800s, a wildfire swept through, taking everything in its path. All but one property, Dawn Manor, which stood on the artificial lake delta, but is no longer there. As of about 2 years ago. That's why we call it the lost city of Newport. I did just switch us into 6-wheel drive, and that's because there's a large sand run that we will be going over here very shortly, so we'll get a little bumpy. Personally, I think Elk Creek's one of those little spots around today's tour, and that's because of all this sandstone we got surrounding us, and the sandstone that is under us. What you guys tell us going outside the side or going up and over, that's actually the sandstone that we are hitting. Elk Creek stands about 4 feet high. It stands up twice and is formed by 2 lakes, both Mirror Lake and the artificial lake delta, which we'll be seeing here in a few moments. Get ready to make over first with 2 amphibious landings. Those windows get pretty bumpy, so if you feel the need to, please hold on. do just switch us from 6-wheel back to 4-wheel drive. So we can gain more power and speed while we are moving in. What did the fish say when it hit the cement wall? Damn. This is the WJ Newman Dam that was built in 1927 to stop the rushing waters of Dell Creek and help form the artificial Lake Delton. Now would be the perfect time on today's tour to get any dam photos you'd like. To make our splashdown into the beautiful artificial Lake Delton. Usually I would ask if we go on, or if you guys want to go in fast or slow, but we got two little precious babies on board, so we're just going to take it in slow so they don't get drenched. Absolutely. There is still going to be a little tidal wave that does come over the back, so if you have any personal belongings, I do recommend holding on to them, because anything that floats up to the screen metal grade up here I am going to take and sell on eBay tonight. Other than any small children, you guys can have them back. As you go into Lake Delton, I do ask that you guys hold on tight. Are you guys ready? Alright, here we go. To give you guys an idea of where we currently sit at on Lake Delton. You guys look onto our left, you're going to notice that brown building with a green roof back there. That's wilderness on the lake. These two wooden towers here ahead of us, the one on the left kind of hit it. That's Noah's Ark. That white house there in front of us, that kind of looks like a hotel. That's actually mine. I am just kidding, that is the older monolith. This is summer vacation home. You guys focus your attention off to the right shoreline there, you're going to notice all those rocks. They were actually placed there after the breach occurred to outline where the breach happened. Now picture 4 vacation homes the size of those ones on to our right, if not bigger, sitting along this shoreline. After that record amount of rainfall, this lake rose 51 inches over shore level, bleeding into the Wisconsin River, taking those 4 vacation homes. All this land that's outlined by the rocks, all the highway and all the land down below with it, until fully emptied into the Wisconsin River in just about 2.5 hours, making it through one side of the lake to the other in just knee-deep water, no water at all. Now it took about a full year to reconstruct all the damage that was done. It took about 2.5 months to fully refill this lake using Mirror Lake, which is just next door. All this damage cost the village of Lake Delton about $3.7 million in repairs. Now you guys may notice this brand new construction that has been completed off to our left here. This is where Miss Helen Robb's property, Dawn Manor, once stood. Now before Miss Helen Robb owned Dawn Manor, was actually owned by W.J. Newman. One day he decided he wanted an artificial lake in his backyard, so the money he had, he bought 500 acres here in the village of White Delta, making 267 of them this lake today. Now look how hard he did by Overdown Manor about 2 years ago, where they now made it this supper club and those treehouse vacation rentals that just opened this past weekend. We're stopped at our second little baby stop sign on today's tour. Now you guys may be wondering why we stopped so much in the middle of the woods. Well, I actually have no idea, so I couldn't tell you. But one day I decided to just slow down here instead of actually stop, and that's when I noticed my boss off in the distance behind these trees here ahead of us just staring at me. As I was driving back, I noticed that he was following me in his truck. When we got back to the loading docks, he came up to me, he grabbed me by my ear, threw me in the back of his truck, brought me all the way back out to the stop sign, ripped that stop sign out of the ground, and I said, well, that's a great idea. I was thinking the exact same thing. That's when he started whacking me over the head with it. I started yelling off, please stop, that it hurts, please stop. And he said, well, sir, do you want me to stop or just slow down? Now soon here we are going to be going over. We're going down Roller Coaster Hill. And when we do, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to throw your hands high up in the air and wave them around like you just don't care. Alright, here we go. Take that, Six Flags. Sitting on top of Lassook Point. Now Lassook Point gets its name for two reasons. The first being this is the last good look you'll get at the beautiful Wisconsin River on today's tour. You guys follow that left shoreline all the way down to where those ducks are coming from, well that's known as Echo Point. Echo Point, Echo Point, Echo Point. That's actually where we entered into the river today. Now the second reason being, well there's a 60-foot drop here just on the other side, so this might be the last good look we get of absolutely anything. But if you're scared of heights like I am, I want you to just cover your eyes like I do. Oh Jesus, take the wheel. Now, of course, I am just joking here. At the original Wisconsin Duck Tour, safety is our #1 priority. That's why I had installed this 50-foot mesh wire barricade off to our right. Now you guys may be thinking, well, Sergey, that's actually chicken wire. But when I went to the hardware store, I thought to myself, if it can stop a chicken, it can most certainly stop a duck. Here is the Lake of the Dells. It's here for one sole purpose, and that one sole purpose is to breed the Wisconsin state summer bird, the mosquito. When we catch our mosquitoes, we place in that brown box there. Once that brown box gets filled up, when we take it, we ship it off to our friends in Minnesota. Kind of like our guy Brett Favre. Just made our way down onto the Lowland Trail. People say this is the most scenic and beautiful part of this tour, so I'm going to do you all a favor. I'm going to go ahead, turn off the mic, and let nature do all the talking. Here at Redbird Gorge is actually 8 feet 6 inches wide. I know mathematician, but I think that leaves me with only 4 inches to spare. We are now about to descend down into Black Hawk Gorge. Now Black Hawk Gorge is the steepest descent we'll have of all tour, and you'll see why here right now. Turkey Hollow. Turkey Hollow is the same one of the wild fox turkey I like to run around this area. tree plantation. After a wildfire swept through here, being the naturalist Miss Ellen Rob Bush decided to replant all the trees in the most natural way possible. Perfectly straight rows. If you guys are wondering why I talk about Miss Ellen Rob and her property down Manor so much on tour, it's actually because she donated all these trails, all this land to the original Wisconsin Ducks. So we could open and operate in 1946. Doors wide open is where we house our 7 year-round mechanics who us duck drivers like to call our quack doctors. Just like every good doctor, they unfortunately can't save them all. So here in front of us is our duck graveyard. May they all rust in pieces. On behalf of myself and everyone here at the original Wisconsin Ducks, I want to thank you all so very much for coming out on today's tour. If you guys did enjoy today's tour, please feel free to leave a Google or Facebook review. My name is Sergey. You're riding out on the beach. And if you didn't, my name's Ryan. You're riding on Sword Beach. Before you guys get up and exit, please let me make my way to the back. Get that big red ramp down for you guys so you guys can get out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your stay here in the beautiful Wisconsin Dells. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day.